Hi, my name is Edie Millette, and I am the owner of Millette Consulting Solutions. And I wanted to come on today to help you uh, with three things that can help you get through the end of the year. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself first. I've worked in accounts receivable for over 25 years. I started in banking and credit card banking, and from there I went on to train and to manage my own team, and to uh, then I went to work at a internet company, and I learned a lot more about accounts receivable and revenue and collections. And I was able to work also in training at that company and really connect with other departments and show how all of the departments work together for the customer. And one of the things that would happen is that end of the month, because accounts receivable and payable both work on monthly cycles. And at the end of the month, you'd be scrambling to get your work done, more so than at the beginning of the month, and just getting all the orders in, getting everything done that needed to be done. And I had to develop a way to do that, actually, several ways, because you have so many things going on. So today I wanted to come on and just share with you some of those things that can probably help you to make the end of the year. Now, this is going to be the end of the month, the end of the quarter, and the end of the year, but to make those run as smoothly as they possibly can. Things are still going to be hectic. There's going to be a lot that needs to be done, but you don't have to be caught up in the madness and the chaos. You can actually have some control over what's going on in your office, even if your office is at home. So, number one of the three things to help you work smoothly through the end of the year, starting and organizing your day. This is so important. It's so important. And you have to have, in order to have a good day, I really believe this, you have to have a good night's sleep. Now, that may not be possible because things happen. I mean, life happens. You may have to deal with your kids. You may have to deal with, the pandemic that's everywhere. You may have to deal with scheduling. Somebody needs to be at a certain place. You still have things going on in school. You still have things going on internally in your own families. So, yes, there may be nights when you're just not going to get the sleep. But your goal should be to get a good night's sleep. 8 hours is really what you should be aiming for. I know some of us tend to stay up late. I know I'm a nighttime person, so I tend to stay up late. But I also don't have to wake up extremely early. So sometimes I take advantage of that, and I stay up a little later, get some work done for this business, and I don't have to get up terribly early. But when I'm working for a client and they are in the office at 7 o'clock, then I need to go to bed early so that I can be fresh and ready to work the next day. That sleep is really important. It's not just for little kids who need to go to bed, it's for adults too. You need to be refreshed. It gives your body a chance to heal, to slow down, to process, and you get some good sleep, and then you can wake up in the morning and feel like, okay, I can move on to the next thing. I can go forward. The other thing you want to do when you do wake up is have a morning routine. Have a good morning routine. Not to be rushed, not that you wake up at the last possible minute every day, but you want to have a morning routine that you say, okay, I got a good night's sleep, and when I get up in the morning, these are the things I need to do. One of the things I like to do is stretch. I am a huge proponent and advocate for stretching in the morning. If that for you means doing yoga stretches, by all means do that. If it just means laying in bed and stretching out like a cat, then by all means do that. But do some kind of stretch to get your body acclimated to getting ready to move. I mean, as we age, things start to get a little more stiff. I'm not the person I was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So I have to make sure that my arms and my legs and everything can move, because in my job I sit a lot. So that stretching really helps. The other thing that I try to get up and do, is go for a walk in the morning. It's quiet. Yes, there are people on their way to work, but where we live, it's pretty quiet. You can just walk and get things moving and get my thoughts together and be ready to go to work when I get back. And again, if does not work for you, that's fine. You can walk around your own house. You can walk around the block. You can just stretch in front of the television. You can, and you don't even have to turn it on. You can just do your routine in the morning, and it will really help you. It'll get your body ready to be in whatever you're going to be doing for the day. You also want to, some of you want to meditate, which is very good, because you want to have a positive outlook when you get ready for work. You don't want to have just your mind is just full of chaos and stress and everything that you have to do, and there's 20 things that you need to do before 9 o'clock, and you're so stressed out that you're not being effective. That's just not the way you want to go. So definitely have a morning routine. Again, you want to have a good night's sleep, and you also want to have a good morning routine. You want to meditate. One of the other things I like to do, this is when I go for my walks, I like to listen to positive messages. For some people, they want to listen to a sermon. Some people want to listen to positive messages and affirmations, and that is wonderful, because you're not just barraging yourself. You're not just throwing these horrible things at your brain before you even get started with your day. Sometimes we have news on in the morning, and there's a lot going on. Yes, it is important. It is very important. But you have to learn when to take things in and how much you take in. You can't take everything, because it will affect you. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to have negative effects in your life just starting out your day every single day. That's just not good for you. So, two, number two, organizing your day. Now, you can start this at home, especially those of us who work from home. Uh, it's good to have a designated space where you can be organized. I'm fortunate enough that I have a room I call my office. It also serves as my art room, but I can be very organized in here. I know where things are. I know where, if I need to work for a client, I know where those things are. I know where those tools are, meaning my pencils, pens, erasers, things like that. I know where it is on my desktop. But the need to be organized is very important. Excuse me, I just need to take a little bit of water here. You need to be, organized, so that you're not looking around all the time for everything that you need. You want to stay organized so that you can easily find things again. You want to stay organized so that when you have a project that you're working on, you can find all of the parts to it. Sometimes it's not just office equipment. Sometimes you have to look things up, or you have a printout. If you're in your office, you may have printouts. You may have files. There may be things that you need to go and look up, but you want to make sure that they are kept in such a way that you can easily find them. If you're working on one project, it's a good idea to put everything in one folder if you can. And then that way, when you go to work on that particular thing, you have everything right there. If you are not working in an office and you're at home, you may want to save a copy in a folder on your desktop, and that will help you to stay organized as well. You want to know where you're going if you're looking up information, say in Oracle. You want to remember who the name of the company. You want to remember the site that you're going to for them, because that company may have different cost centers and you're only working with one. So you want to have that organization that you don't have to keep looking through and figure out, well, which cost center am I working with? What am I doing? Who are my contacts? What do I need? So make sure that you're staying organized that way. Um, to go back a little bit in organizing, one of the things that I learned when I was working in the internet company is that I would come in the morning because I commuted in. I would come in the morning, and the first thing I did would be to ask my manager if there were any urgent requests. Had anything come in, because she usually got there before I did, had anything come in or had she received an email where there was an urgent request, something that someone wanted taken care of right away. A lot of times there were things that people wanted. They either sent an email or sent a voicemail late the night before. So she got it when she came in. And being there early, I would try to say, hey, let's take care of those things first. Sometimes they're very simple, sometimes they're very complex. But at least I know that if there's something urgent and I can work on it, let me get it out of the way so that it's not going to keep me from doing my regular work. We're going to talk about that in a minute as well. The other thing that I would do, say if she said there was nothing came in, great. Check your voicemail, check your emails. They, when I say they, I mean other departments or customers may have sent a request directly to you, which happens, it happens if they are working with you and you're the person they always speak to every month. I had certain salespeople that I worked with, and every month they would call and say, "Hey, I have another order for this customer. Do you mind if I stop by and we can just talk face to face?" Or they would just call me on the phone, "Hey, do you have a minute? I have a change to this order, and we need to get some things reworked, or we have to make credits and then send out a new invoice." Okay, that's great, because I'm working with the same people, so I know how that customer works. But in staying organized and checking my email, checking my voicemail, I know when those things are coming up. They're not really catching me by surprise. We had a few customers who they like to change things, so it was no surprise when they came in and did just that. I also would advise you to respond right away. If it's something that you can do right away, go ahead. Oh, I need copies of this. Okay, I'll get PDF copies, attach, send the email. If it's just a phone call, you want to set something up with a salesperson or with a collection analyst or someone or revenue or someone that's maybe not sitting right there, just say, hey, let's get together at 10 o'clock, or let's get together right after lunch, or whatever suits your schedules. But be proactive in it. Definitely take hold and be proactive. Let them know that that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you are on top of things. People like to work with you when you are the one that's on top of things. And so let's go back over this again. So first thing you want to do, having a good night's sleep. Very important. Have a morning routine. So that's under starting and organizing your day. In addition to starting and organizing your day, use your calendars. This is a huge one. Sometimes we just have those little desktop calendars and they sit there and you flip the day when you come in. But we have so many calendars now. Outlook has a calendar. Google has a calendar. I have a calendar on my wall and I use all of them. And I have a calendar on my phone. I use that one too because it connects to Google. But I really have to make sure that I look at my calendar every day and I use them. I love using my calendar on the wall because I can just glance over, just look over there and say, okay, this is what's due today or this is what's coming up. I do the same thing with my Google Calendar and my Outlook calendar. I need to know if I'm working on a project when it's due, first of all, or if I have a follow up, or if I just need to connect with someone. Maybe we're connecting twice a week just to say, hey, where are you? Oh, this is where I am. Has anything changed? Let's go and keep moving forward. That's wonderful. But if things change, and I really don't like to be caught by surprise. So if it's on my calendar, it's not really a surprise. I know it's coming. Like, oh, okay, I can prepare for that. I can prepare for the meeting that I'm going to have tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Okay, I know that I need to have all these ducks in a row so I can go to the meeting, or I can log on to the meeting and talk about the project that we're all working on. Use your calendars. They are there definitely to help you, and they can help you get through the end of the year, especially if you lay out your regular work and then you also add in a little buffer time, because again, things can and will change. One of the things I like to do is, or when I organize, I like to use notebooks. And this is one of the notebooks that I use. I use one notebook for per customer, per client rather. And sometimes I'll use two. Like this one has a pocket in the middle, so it divides, which is very helpful. So I can write for one client and then use the other side for another. And it also depends on how long I'm working for them. If it's just like 6 weeks, 2 months, I may use the entire book. I may not. It depends on how detailed and what the project is. The other thing that I like to do in staying organized for myself is I use a notebook like this. This is a Moleskine, and it has just lined pages, if you can see this. Just lined pages, and I've got, of course, all kinds of tabs in here and bookmarks. Because whenever I am um, looking at any kind of research, if I'm making a project to go live or I'm using new software, I need to write that down. I'm old school. I like to write things down. I like to use electronic organization because I will make voice notes as well. But I also like to write things down so that I can go back and look at what I wrote and look at where I am in the project, and just make sure that I'm keeping everything that I need. If I don't need it, of course, I can always scratch it out. But I usually keep everything in the book, and I'll get a new one every year. This is my second one. I also have a little pocket on it, like this. Got this on Amazon, and it holds just a little calculator, my leads, my pencil, and some little arrow tabs so that I can easily find things that are important. And it just straps onto the front of my notebook there. So those are some ways that you can stay organized. Also, in your emails, set notifications. Set notifications, flag it for follow up. Sometimes you just need that little reminder that, hey, I'm working on this, but I have something else that's due. Set those notifications. I use them in my personal life and I use them in my work life. And they are great. They are great. They just remind me of all the things that I have to do. Some of them small, some of them big, some of them involve travel. I have to go, down to the store. I have to go pick up a computer or something. But the notification reminds me that, hey, tomorrow, be aware, you need to be somewhere at 11:15. You can't stay home. So that's really helpful. Now, another one to help you get through the end of the year. Another item. Getting back on track when you've been derailed. Sometimes this is a huge one. And for a lot of people, and I've seen this happen just over the years, where they're doing good work, they're moving along, everything's going great, and then another project comes in, and the project they're currently working on gets moved out of the way a little bit, and sometimes it's difficult to get back on track. So first thing, take notes on the new project. Make sure you understand what's going on. You can always ask questions. If there are conflicts, and sometimes there will be, but if there are conflicts, let your manager know. Let someone know, not your colleague, because they can't really do anything, but let your manager know that, hey, I've got these two conflicts. Which one should I take care of first? What's the priority here? Let your manager handle that. If they know that you've got a conflict, maybe they'll make some adjustment and say, hey, I'll call them and let them know this is going to be a day late, or I've already got you working on something. Maybe I should not assign this new project to you. Maybe we'll start the new project after you finish this. Can you work on that now and finish it early? It really depends on the company you're working for, who you're working with, what the project is. But if you have those conflicts, if you are not able to seamlessly integrate a new project, let your manager know. Let them know that, hey, this is due on Tuesday, and you're telling me that this new project is also due on Tuesday. I don't know which one is going to take the priority here. Let them tell you. They will be happy to tell you that the new project is the priority. Okay, that's fine. They've made the call. Set aside time to work on the project. And what I mean by set aside time is set aside, say you have something coming up. You know that, okay, lunch is 12 o'clock or whatever time for most people. Set aside a couple of hours to just focus on whatever that project is. If you are working on uh, invoicing a customer, you've received the contract, you know what the terms are, you have the correct address, you have the contact name, you have all the information. Set aside time to work on that, to make sure that you are entering the correct information, or that you are actually billing, you're creating a manual invoice, you're billing the right person, you're sending it to the right place and for the right amounts. And if there's a summary only, or if there's detail required, or you have to attach any kind of reports, you can focus on that. Excuse me. Set aside that time so that your works is not constantly being interrupted. It's really important. Constant interruptions can cause errors, and you don't want to have errors in your work. So make sure that you're setting aside time, and you can do that over the course of the day. You can set aside 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. There you go. 2, 4, 6, 8. You got 4 things that you're really working on. Or if you can set aside and make it a smaller amount of time, whatever works for you, but focus on your work and make sure that you're not making errors in your work, which leads me right into using a checklist. If there are specific things that you know you're going to need on most projects, then just make a checklist. I need the contract. I need to have the terms. I need to have a contact name. I need to have an email address. I need to, whatever it is. I need to have the currency that we're working in. Make a checklist. Check off the items as you receive them. And that way you can make sure that your project is accurate. You don't want to have a lot of errors in your project. And most of all, sometimes people really don't pay attention to this. If you need help, if you find yourself getting stuck, if things just don't make sense, or you feel like there's a missing piece of the puzzle, ask for help. Ask for help. Seriously. Sometimes there are missing pieces. Sometimes things are not made clear. It may be clear to the person who sent it, but it comes across your desk and you're saying, I don't understand how this is going to flow into, what we usually do. Maybe it's something new. Or maybe they really did forget to send you all of the instructions. So ask for help. Let your manager know, hey, this doesn't look complete, or I need some help with this. I really don't understand what's going on here. So get your calendar out. Mark the days and times that you need to complete your work. And most importantly, and not most importantly, but one of the most important things that you can do, and this is number three, one of the most important things that you can do is connect with other departments that you work with. Imagine it's December 15th, which it's going to be in about, 16 days. Connect with those other departments. Find out what they need. Don't wait till the 15th, but imagine it's the 15th and you haven't connected with them. And you find out that there's a huge project, a huge invoicing project, or something that needs to be collected by the end of the year, and you've only got a few days. That's not the ideal scenario. You want to make sure that you have enough time. What if someone's out of the office because the holidays are here? We just had Thanksgiving. Right now, it's Hanukkah. You're going to roll into Christmas pretty soon. And then the end of the year, New Year's. Sometimes people are out of the office, they're unavailable. There's a lot that goes on. Uh, you don't know what's going to happen. So the sooner you connect with whoever it is in the other office, the better. If it's an AP department that you normally work with and you want to make sure that payment comes in, connect with them. Say, hey, are you guys going to have an invoice run? Are you going to have a check run? Are you going to be sending out payments soon? Can we get it early? You know, we're going to be, sometimes you're going to be out of the office that last week of the year. So you want to make sure that everything is done early. And this is, again, number three in staying organized, but it's something you really should do every single month. Just don't wait till the end of the year. You want to make sure that you connect with your sales department. Are there any new orders that are coming in? Is there something that needs to be handled for you in billing and you in cash application? Something that needs to be handled before the end of the month. You want to make sure that you have those things in place. If you are collecting again and you need to hit a certain goal, try and hit it early in the month. You know, just go through all of your lists. If you need to make some type of arrangements with some of your customers, then make those arrangements. You know, make sure that you are on top of things so that when the end of the year comes, and it is going to come, you can tell your manager, hey, I did all these different things and we either made the goal or you were, sometimes you may be just short a little bit. But you want to show what you did to make sure that you lessen the friction, that you lessen the anxiety, that you lessen being unprepared for your manager, for yourself, because you want to look good for the company and for yourself. So again, the three things that can really help you to get back on track are: you want to start your day in an organized way. You want to get back on track if you've been derailed. And you want to prepare for that month end in the best way. You want to make sure that you are crossing every I and you are crossing every T and dotting every I. You want to make sure that you are doing those things so that you can have a successful year end. Again, this is Edie Millette. I am the owner of Millette Consulting Solutions, where I help cash application, billing, and collection analysts. I help them by supporting them with supplemental training. If you need any type of supplemental training, click the link in my bio. We may be able to work together. Fill out the application and let's see if we can work together. Let's see if we can clarify some things and get you back on track, get you having a great year in. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.